I'd say we're in for a bit of a treat here. We've got something a little bit different. We've got Tex, who is playing piano in League here. We're going to cover 3 of Piano's games playing the Space Marines. I always like Piano's Space Marines. I think they are his best faction, the one he's most fluid with, and just has the best macro understanding of. Sorry, Piano. I don't rate your orcs quite so highly. I don't know what to think of Tex's orcs and Nids these days. He is renowned for his orcs. Tex was originally, back in the day about 10 years ago, known as being a Warboss main, so... yeah, we'll just have to see how he does here. He's going to be facing off against the Tech Marine early on in this first game. He's not going to be playing orcs in all of them. We're going to mix it up a bit. Now, going for a pretty conventional build as far as I'm concerned is Tex. I think... well, actually, the problem is, when you play as the Commando Knob, I actually think that it opens up more options for you. A bit stupid really walking into that engagement in an enfilade of fire between scouts and tacs. Yeah, oh dear indeed. He's gone into melee with the Tech Marine here, probably opened up fire on him when he's outside, and that's a good situation. I think the Commando Knob does more damage than the Tech Marine in melee. Maybe they're on par. Looks like, honestly, the Tech Marine's doing more. Yeah. Maybe it's just that contributory fire from the rotating tacs. Well, either way, that is going to be the Commander Knob having to get out of there. So you probably want the Techie to take that cap. Scouts go forward. Okay, I'll just retreat and heal. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so I think when you go K-Knob, because you have more range DPS initially, the K-Knob's got 35 range DPS just like the Tech Marine, but he has shorter range than the Tech Marine. However, he has 100% fire on the move, which is amazing for chasing down these scouts. If you force melee on them when they try and run away, you got 100% fire on the move and you can bleed them quite easy. It enables you to get away with builds that only have one shooter, which as the Warboss you really cannot do. You will just never be able to threaten anything that kites you. Scouts will be practically immortal. Tech Marine likewise. If he picks up Bionics, you're screwed. So yeah, I'm curious to see why he's decided to go with Shooter Boys and what he's going to do with them. He's followed it up with Looters, which is fine. Good defensive unit. You guys probably know my opinion by now though. I think Storm Boys are the best unit on the Orc roster, and to not get Storm Boys, I think is a mistake, no matter what hero you're playing. That said, Storm Boys obviously have better synergy with the Mech Boy or the Warboss compared to the Commando Knob. You've got the battery pack heals with the Mech Boy. You've got the additional AV potential of the Mech Boy, so missing out on your looter in tier 1 isn't that big of a deal. If you're playing as the Warboss, you've got the Uji Choppers and you've got the Ard Boys Globals to apply to your Storm Boys, which can assist them. I still think you probably want to get Storm Boys though, with your Commando Knob. Because now we're going to see ASM coming out from the Space Marines, and you've only got one Slugger Boy right now as a melee unit to deal with them. One-on-one, even with their burners, if the ASM land the jump on the Sluggers are going to lose. You really don't want to go for a melee war gear upgrade on your Commando Knob. It's so inefficient, and then you become weak to Scouts. You also don't scale very well. So this presents a problem now, compositionally. I don't know how Tex is going to handle these ASM. People always say don't go ASM if you're playing Tech Marine, but it's such a bad... it's a terrible comment. You can definitely go ASM as Tech Marine. It really doesn't matter. There's so many things that the ASM provide. The AV utility in tier 2 with the undodgeable melter bomb. Combine that with your melter gun. You just kill any transport very easily, and you haven't even committed to a las cannon. The mobility, the map control, the anti-melee if you use the jump defensively, not offensively. There's a lot of utility, and I think it's a great purchase here for Wolf. Wolf also has a fully upgraded scout squad over here, going to be taking out the power point. Good use of the infiltration over this side on the Sluggers, which have picked up their burners, managed to force off one of the scouts that way. And we're picking up big shooters and a shooter knob on one of these shooter boys. The other one is still default. Both players have triple gens. Let's have a look at the economy. Tech's ahead because we've got the mastercrafted bolter on the way. So we'll see how the Tech Marine can make use of this. I have to be honest, I think the war gear is pretty overrated. 125-25, it gives you about a 2 DPS increase in your actual bolter damage. So really, the vast chunk of that... Okay, a 3 DPS increase. 35 to 37.92. The real chunk of that utility is coming from that high-powered shot that you've seen there that instantly took out one of those sluggers. And with these scouts over here, this is going to be a good engagement for the ASM. This is the problem that I'm saying. You've only got these sluggers, and they were buffed with WA, they had their burner upgrade, and they're nearly getting wiped, man. If there was another jump from the ASM, that'd be a wiped slugger squad. The ASM are a damn problem. Now they can just jump the shooters. Tech Marine can take cover, beat the Commander knob. Yeah, and, you know, we lost 0 models on the Space Marines here, and the Orcs lost quite a few. 2 there on the shooters. Was it 4 on the sluggers in the end, or was there a 5th model killed? 4 or 5. Quite a lot of bleed. Wolf is ahead in the VPs, but economically, Tex is ahead. Tex can start tier 2 any second now. And to be fair, once the Slugger boys get their knob leader in tier 2, they'll be able to contend with these ASM a lot better. So we'll see. I'm hesitant to say that the Orcs have an advantage in tier 2. I'm not sure. The Space Marines certainly have lots of things going for them in tier 2 as well. Mark Target, I find, is a brutal war gear against the Orcs. Combine it with Stern Guard and the Hellfire rounds, and Orcs will melt. Denied his stun bomb there with a little explosive shot. But now there's no explosive shot for the sluggers, but it doesn't matter. They're just going to get the kill on the K-Knob and jump away. Yep, there we go. And then the Tech Marine is going to bleed these sluggers. High-powered shot takes out one of them. Normal shots take out another. Probably going to stay in and try and kill a third, and he does. Another 3 models down for the Orcs. A lot of bleed. If we look at the XP situation, now we've already got a level 2 Tech Marine. Nearly level 2 on this upgraded scout. Obviously not a lot of XP on this other one. It's just running around capping. But in contrast, look at the XP on the Orcs. Very, very low. It's hard, man. I mean, I don't like this build from Tex at all. It's gone for big shooters over here as well. I really question what the utility of the 2 big shooters is right now when you can't really kill ASM. And if the Scout with Sergeant is against this big shooter on its own, the Scout with Sergeant will win. Not sure how much looters have done either. They're going to bleed a model now. Grenade. Oh, I whiffed it. That could have been a good grenade, you know. Could have got 3 of these guys. But anyway, it's not like he needs the bleed. Routed them quite easily with a high-powered shot. But we've got a truck, so this could be where things turn around now. Where are the Slugger boys? They are now fully reinforcing. Going to get in the truck, no doubt. And the question is he going to use that defensively over here, or is he going to push straight for the Gem Farm? Gem Farm probably would be a mistake, looking at the economy of Piano. Very good economy. Creeping up to the resources for a Dreadnought. I don't know if he would go for that, though. Personally, I would just go for Stern Guard. Get a Dreadnought later. Like having the Tax plus Stern Guard as a baseline alongside the Tech Marine. Very, very strong against Orcs. But it looks like Piano's probably going for the Dreadnought. Assault Cannon Dreadnought's good against Orcs. Especially when you're the Tech Marine. You can't really do it as APO. But if you're the Tech Marine, you don't really care because you've got the Melter Gun for AV against this truck. And so he is going for the Dreadnought. Obviously Tech Marine also has the Global that can repair the Dreadnought. Bleed is brutal. Just constantly bleeding models off him everywhere. So this is where Call the Boys starts becoming quite relevant as a global for the Orcs. As things start to scale, you want to not fully reinforce these shooter boy squads, which is also ties into why I would argue you don't want to fully upgrade them in these kind of matchups. I actually wouldn't get the knob at all in this matchup. But then you have problems with infiltrating scouts onto your looters, but you just have to suck it up, to be honest. Wow, Woofer's committed to a missile launcher tactical marine. I am surprised at that. I was going to say, they need to get into melee. That was bad play by Piano. Lost attack model pretty unnecessarily there, but the loot is probably going to have to move up to prevent the cap. So, grabbing a Sarge. And no upgrade yet for the Dreadnought. Probably wants to wait and see what the response is, but yeah, tank busters are going to get kind of wrecked by an assault cannon Dreadnought. So you would need busters plus looters. With the beamy, of course. And that is the value of the Dreadnought. Devastators. That seems off. I'm really shocked to see the missile launcher. It's such a heavy commitment just to kill a truck. Truck does have the reinforced plating, at least. So it's going to be relatively tanky. It's got the durability of a Chimera now. But not the repair support that a Chimera has, though. No melter bombs. And Tex is doing something quite interesting here. He is teching tier 3. So he is opening himself up to a big push right now with the Walker onto the gen farm, which could be quite devastating. But the primary AV unit, the missile launch attacks have been caught out. They're at the wrong part of the map. They're getting routed right now, so they are not in position to support a Dreadnought push onto the power farm. Yeah, so Wolf's playing a little bit too defensive right now. Wow, he committed to the last dev too. Holy shit. That is heavy. Missile launchers and a Lasdev as a Tech Marine? Really? I wouldn't have done that. I'd have just got the Melter Gun, Melter Bombs and the Stern Guard. And then gone for the Dreadnought. Well, this could be a problem for Piano. Because now the Orc's been basically given free reign to go tier 3. And look at the level of power for Tex as well. Not that high. If he lost this gen farm, he'd be in a really bad spot economically, but of course he didn't. Now, bad spots though. We've got a bad spot here for Tex in terms of VPs. He does need to get onto that, but I'm sure he's aware of it. He's just basically stalling right now to get the tech. Yeah, and he's going to go into a looted tank. He has the option now, he's tier 3 of picking up the rocket launcher and the commander knob, which will be pretty good to help take out that Dreadnought. You would expect that to come out. She was a little slow to retreat there, but only losing one model. Thunder and Lightning at last, aka Melter Bombs, on the ASM. Wow, how have they not lost a model? Christ almighty. Oh, he cancelled the tank and went for a knob squad. Ooh, that's really interesting. I wonder why he decided to do that. Man, he spent a lot of time building that tank as well, so he's delayed that knob squad by quite a bit. And he is falling behind on VPs quite a lot. We've still got just a melee Dreadnought. So the knob squad's not going to be amazing with a melee Dreadnought around. If that Dreadnought had already upgraded into an assault cannon, I'd understand this, but I think the looted tank first and then the knob squad after would have made more sense. I suppose he's wary. There is a crazy amount of AV right now, to be fair. Melter Bombs, heavy melee Dreadnought, las cannon, and a missile launcher tactical Space Marine. Quite brave here, charging the war truck forward, but the Melter Bomb is going to be the end of it. Melter Bomb on rear armour, goodbye. Not sure what that play was with the war truck, to be honest, Tex. That was questionable, but the Slugger will absolutely butcher these injured ASM. Oh, the knobs were still in the truck, what? What the... I did not know that. Man, if they got out with the Sluggers, that might have been a wiped ASM squad. Yeah, maybe not. Commander knob just side-capping. Could be pursuing this thing with a rocket launcher, though that is quite expensive. He can afford it, though. Sure, he wants the knob upgrades first. But not really much support right now for this Dreadnought. I think I might just take the fight, you know. Yeah, and Piano gets marked target, which is great, but he kind of whiffs it. Like, he's marked targeted them, but it's going to be worn off by the time, yeah, the Dreadnought ever sees combat with it. Bizarre. And he's just going to get onto the gen farm. What the heck? Hide the boys and the sluggers. He's going to take out the tax in the mid. Knobs are just going to be a distraction, Khan effects. Distraction, Knob squad. Finally, we get the rocket launcher on the K-Knob. There you go. Is that Frenzy? Not sure. No, I don't think so. They're taking loads of damage. There's Frenzy. Breaks the suppression. 75% damage resistance. Not enough to save them, like. They are losing HP here. Getting disrupted by the ASM, which is level 2. Therefore, proccing specials on them. And repairs from the Tech Marine and the Scouts are going to be a problem for the Knob Squad. Obviously, you need the K-Knob around to support them, but they were forced off by said ASM. Oh, but the Sluggers just sneak in and butcher the Scouts. Oh dear, Piano. Oh dear. Should have seen that one coming. Oh well. There goes one of his repair units. Pain Boy now for Tex. Help keep these guys in operation, I guess. Can do the surgery upgrade for them as well, which is pretty good. +1 speed is amazing for a Knob Squad. So is the max HP. They're all percentage-based buffs, I believe. Well, the HP and the damage, so the HP is a lot better on a Knob Squad. Damage is good in a Stormboy squad. But speed is a flat buff of +1, so it's good on pretty much anything, but especially Knobs. Because you only get one implant upgrade. But I'm sure he's not even that fussed about the implants, probably just wants the Painboy here for the heal. Knobs do have a lot of health per model, so you can spend a lot of time in base healing with them if you don't have any heals. An alternative that would have been cheaper would have been some Grot Orderlies. I mean, there's something to consider. Not as useful in combat, I suppose. Main problem for Tex right now is he's down to 40 VPs and bleeding fast. He's going to retain control of the natural, so it will be a 1-to-1 cap, but man, Piano's got 467 for Christ's sake. How the hell is Tex going to be able to make that up? He's going to need a tank, and that tank needs to keep running down the sidelines, distracting the Lasdev, then come mid, rotate, use its speed to take out this Dreadnought. Piano now has himself got to tier 3, and looking at the resources, soon we'll be able to get Terminators. I mean, not soon after, he'll be able to get a Land Raider Redeemer, which, honestly, given that he's got 465 VPs, I might even consider. Land Raider Redeemer's pretty damn good against Knobs. Those twin giant flamers it's got, plus the frag assault, which does knockback. Knobs are not immune to knockback. But yeah, hide the boys right there. Going to initiate with those hidden lads. Ooh, just about to finish off the Lasdevs with a swing there, but knocked over by his ASM special into an Emperor's Fist from the Dreadnought, and that is a Venerable Dreadnought call-in from the Tech Marine. That is not what I expected, but actually, versing Knobs, that's pretty damn good. Look at all the CC. Knobs are just getting flung around. I bet Tex wishes he was a mech boy right now with a super tough beam to grant that knockback immunity, but he's not. He's a Commander Knob. Maybe he doesn't wish it because the Commander Knob is doing tremendous damage from afar with that rocket launcher. Tactical Marine's trying to find him, but he's very, very slippery thanks to that infiltration. Can the Knobs take out one of the Dreadnoughts? They do indeed, but will they escape with their lives? That is the question. A heal from the Pain Boy probably is going to guarantee that. Looks like they've got very little health, but there's actually over 400 on that lone Knob model. Oh, but the Venerable Dreadnought sweeps up the Pain Boy in the grand finale of that fight. Might have been an opportunity there to try and stay in that fight and use Call the Boys. I'm not sure if he already used Call the Boys. If not, that definitely was the key engagement to use it in, but I still don't think he'd have been able to take out the Venerable Dreadnought, to be honest. Looks like Infiltrated Sluggers here will get the pick up on the Tactical Space Marines, and that's going to be nice for them. Will they also kill the Tech Marine? ASM jump probably saving them. Slugger Knob charging in with some speed though, thanks to Swamp'em. Very timely Swamp'em activation. Gonna keep the Sluggers in play, and they've still got Hide the Boys on them, so they're gonna infiltrate rather than retreating through the Venerable Dreadnought. One of the shooters is on the VP in the center, gonna get replaced by the commander knob capping so that that shooter can go to the natural, as Tex has sighted that Lazdev trying to decap his natural. Yeah, knobs are rotating to the mid, gonna get a call to boys, aren't they here? Yeah. What's the reinforcing to do? Shooters over here do force off the Lazdevs. Wow, is Tex gonna win this? He's actually looking like he's in an amazing position right now. The chip damage that's coming out from the rocket launcher is going to be so good against these walkers. He's constantly having to re-divert the melee units and even other ranged units like the tactical marines to meleeing the commander knob, which is not proving too great for Piano, and it's bleeding him tremendously. I think he's in a really bad spot. Looted Tank coming out next for Tex, and he just killed 3 ASM models. Yikes, that is going to be exceedingly expensive to reinforce. Wow, I think Tex has actually got the comeback here. Let's see. I mean, Piano's got a ridiculous amount of power in the bank. He's also got a ridiculous amount of time with 400 VPs. So Tex is obviously going to leave something guarding down here. He did do the little eco trick there and decided to go for Vanguard so that he didn't have to reinforce all 3 of those ASM models, so that's pretty good. He's still got a lot of resources in the bank. He could get a Predator out right now, but he doesn't want it. The Land Raider Redeemer would have been strong. He's got time for a Land Raider Redeemer, but I'm not sure what he's going to be able to achieve with the Looted Tank out. It's going to die to one more hit from the Looted Tank as this last cannon. But it's not firing. There you go. Yeah, shooters just finish him off. Do they get... Oh, no, they don't have a melter bomb. I forgot, they're not ASM anymore. They're Vanguard, so they don't have the melter bomb. Oh, that's not good. So the tank will stay in play. Piano kind of just let his Lazdev wipe there, which is not good. Yeah, no bueno for sure. This is very bad. Mark target just as the Dreadnought goes into melee. This is a better instance for it. Look how tanky these level 2 knobs are. So tanky. Looted Tank gets to contribute. Don't think they've used Frenzy yet either, have they? Is that Terminators? Yeah. Wow, charging through. He's trying to grab the tank, but that's futile. Yeah, send the Terminators after the tank, sure. Have we not got... Oh yeah, he's got no red for Blessing of the Omnissiah. He just drained all of his red calling in the Terminators. He got a couple of model kills there on the knobs. Maybe the Venerable Dreadnought can do it. Oh, Emperor's Fist came off cooldown as well. Yeah, where is the K-Knob? Ah, the K-Knob's running up now. It's getting tied up in melee by the Terminators. But the Terminators can't deal with the tank and the K-Knob. And the K-Knob's infiltrated anyway. The Knob's got the Dreadnought. They didn't even need the K-Knob's help. Right in my crosshairs. Yeah, and Terminators with their lack of melee resist getting diced up by the boys with their big shank. And Tex makes the comeback. What the hell? How did he do it? I felt like I was shit-talking Tex for most of the tier 1. And honestly, yeah, like his composition, I don't think it was very good. I have to question a lot of his players, but somehow that big final engagement with the 2 Dreadnoughts just did not go in Piano's favour at all. I kind of thought it would have done. I don't know if he used Blessings of the Omnissiah in that engagement. I don't think the Venerable Dreadnought was a very good choice. I mean, it just made you so vulnerable to the Looted Tank. But, you know, sometimes, guys, you live and die on the meme. And I guess that's what Piano was trying to do. Hope you enjoyed that one. We'll move on to another game with Tex imminently. No, wait. It might not be with Tex. With Piano. It's probably not Tex. I don't know. Whatever. Peace. Torpid out. Alright, so we do have Tex in the second game as well, but it is going to be Deimos in the third one. Tex is going to be swapping to the Lictor Alpha right now, and we've got the Tech Marine once again for Piano. I guess you replay the heroes that you lose with, but you can't replay the heroes that you win with. So yeah, he's going to be trying his hand again with a Tech Marine. Different map though, Calderis Refinery. I have to say, I don't think this is one of the best maps for Nids. Because it's a big map, but it's quite head-on. So you're walking into firing line sort of thing. Can be a bit awkward, but then again you can overwhelm the opponent by just getting a load of melee and running around the sides of the map, which is exactly what Tex is doing because he's going for triple Hormagaunts. So scouts are going to encounter one of the Hormagaunts there. We're going to need some nice fast micro from Piano in order to handle the speed of the Nids here, the little Zergling rush. The Tyranids could be problematic. Node coming up, typical build from both players. Lictor still running around harassing, being a pain in the arse. Bit of a heavy rotation here to deal with one Hormagaunt, but these guys are going to have to retreat.
There is no glory in pointless defeat.
But that's bad. Hasn't caught his natural wreck, hasn't caught his natural VP, and the Hormers are just going everywhere. To be fair, Tex did forego the naturals here to try and put pressure on here, but encountered the scouts. So he's only just capping his natural now too, but he's also capturing Piano's natural as well. Which, yeah, this has created quite a strange start for the game, where Piano has took the contested VP in the middle before his own natural. Dare he drop gens? No, he daren't. Which kind of makes sense when his main combat units are so extended deep into the enemy lines, unable to protect his own gen farm. But he should prioritise power points for that reason, if he's not going to build gens. So I think he's making a bit of a mistake here. I don't know why he's going for the wreck and not for the power point down this side. Stalling with the Tech Marine. We'll be able to stall for quite some time here. You can see only 2 models of Hormagaunts are able to chop him, so it's actually a pretty good situation for him. Since he doesn't do terrible melee damage, he will kill a couple of models and he stalls for a long time. Probably needs to get out of there soon though. Is the Lictor still in play? Yeah, went for the other squad of scouts. Did they get a kill? No, surprisingly not. Tut Hormers. Definitely able to drop some gens down now though. Needs to drop them down as soon as he can when he gets 100 requisition. Should be dropping them ASAP. ASM on the way. It's going to be Raveners for Tex, and that is why you don't go Devastators against this build. Because the Raveners would very quickly negate any Devastators that you got. Pretty late there on the gen, Piano. Come on, wakey. Yeah, they got enough for a second gen this time. Bit of pew-pew there on the Lictor, but he's going to stay in play, infiltrate away. Rav's in the mid, going to encounter some scouts. Be a bad situation for those scouts. Tex is hunting them. Yeah. There you go, ASM. Oh, they missed the knockback. They do get into melee, but they missed the knockback. Which is not ideal, and now they're isolated with another squad of Hormagaunts moving in. The ASM to jump the fuck out. And they do. Unfortunately, their base movement speed is inferior to the Tyranids, so if they don't get some support, they're going to be in trouble. We've got a Bionics upgrade coming on the Tech Marine. That is not a good idea, Piano. Looks like this ASM might die. Very low on health. They're going to get away without losing a model, but there are Hormagaunts on the gen farm right now. Any Adrenal Gland upgrades coming in? No, because we have a second Revenue Brood on the field. A lot of bleed there for the first Horma squad. Bionics is in play, so he's trying to set up a situation where he can get a wipe and retreat, but he doesn't want to commit too early because he's worried he's going to get Bionics, but the bait goes against Piano there as the Raveners just DPS down the Tech Marine before he can even get his little Bionics play off. So, pretty bad start for Piano, I've got to say. The pressure is on. He lost a generator in the end, and he lost his hero, which had a War Gear upgrade. He did bleed a few Hormagaunts for it, but not that many. And no Raveners bled, so not great. Okay, a bit of a bold burrow there from the Raveners. They're probably going to have to get out of there. Outnumbered 3-1 by Space Marines is not great for a Tyranid, even if you are a big fearsome Ravener. Anyone who's been playing Space Marine 2 knows how scary those Raveners can be. To be fair, nothing compared to the Lictor, but still. Not being able to get his power up for long enough to facilitate any scout upgrades, which I'm sure Piano is not happy about. Having shotguns against all this melee would be a wonderful thing. Flamers coming out for the tax. Honestly, not a bad choice, even as a weapon. These Homers are so numerous in models. Look at the damage that the Flamer does. It's really nice. And then he's got his Tech Marine stood in the middle. Unfortunately, we've got that very annoying UI bug in the replays where we don't see the actual icons for the Tech Marine because he's died. But he is in there, and he got a nice bionic sweep on the Hormagaunts to hurt them. But unfortunately, that's all that happened. He hurt them. He didn't win the game. Tex has gone for triple Raveners. I wonder if that's an Overwatch mistake or intentional. I mean, he's got the foot, the Tyrannid foot, whatever. Yeah, I mean, most of them have feet. Raveners don't have feet, but the other ones do have feet. Them little Tyrannid insectoid feet are on the gas right now. And he's going to try and finish Piano off in tier 1, I guess, with triple Raveners. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how Piano responds to it. Maybe he gets another attack. Or he just fully upgrades both of his scouts. He's lost his entire gen farm though, and he's having his power node decapped. This is not good. Two scouts fall. Power point is decapped. Lucky, honestly, not to lose a tactical marine there. And I spoke too soon. Pop goes a tactical space marine. Oh my god, look at the burst damage from Raveners. They are terrifying. And they burrow away. What annoying little shits. They're like warp spiders in tier 1. So annoying. Pew 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 pew, and then the Hormagaunts leap onto you. Oh no, Piano loses an ASM model as well. Brutal. Truly, truly brutal stuff. Does have the bionics, but doesn't do quite as much damage to the free model Raveners. Hey, it works, it got rid of them. Didn't want to risk losing the model Tex. But look at the map control, man. Tex owns basically all the map. Not even a friggin' power node for Piano. Somehow accumulated 100 power. I mean, I know he's not spent much. I guess this game's just been going on for ages, even though it's in tier 1. I wish we had an in-game timer. That would help a lot. Tex is going to go tier 2. That just shows you how good his map control has been, doesn't it? And obviously the pressure onto Piano's gen farm. The fact he's got 6 units and he's going to tier 2 first. Like, God, that's bad. Bad for Piano. Losing his scouts. Proctor special there did the Lictor and it avoided the knockback from the jump of the ASM. So we're trying to go for the wipe there, Piano, which, I mean, he needed it, didn't he, really? He needs something to get back in this game. He's not too far behind on VPs, surprisingly. Triple Ravener. Yeah, so 2 of them focus fire while 1 burrows on top of you to knock you out of cover. Nasty, nasty stuff. I mean, an alternative to Bionics would have been the Artificer armor and put mines down. There's no warriors, right? But if Tex did see him going for Artificer armor, he probably wouldn't have gone for triple Raveners. He'd have probably gone for double Raveners into warriors, right? It's not like warriors are terrible. They still give you synapse to all these units so they get more damage resistance. You're not getting that from your Lictor. Tex is tier 2. The gem farm is going down once again for Woof. I think this game's a wrap, boys. I just seen that it was relatively long. I thought I'd cast it. I don't get to see a lot of Piano's Space Marines. It's normally pretty good, but yeah, I mean, Tyranids are Tyranids, right? This is what they do. If you make a couple of misplays in the other game, they punish you, especially If you're playing against a decent player like Tex and he decides, yeah, I'm gonna keep my foot on the gas, I'm gonna get that third Ravener squad, 6 squads in tier 1, and he's playing the map control really well. Cycling these Hormagaunts around. The Lictor is busy all the time, just slaying things constantly, capping the map, just being a pain. Piano did actually node this power point over here, and that is one of the problems that the Lictor has. He's not the fastest hero at destroying power nodes. He's not the slowest either, but he'd rather leave that to the Hormagaunts, so that's what he's going to do while he caps the point. But overall, I'm not sure what Piano can do here. I mean, he is tier 2, but the lack of power is the real problem. How far is he from a Razorback? Let's have a look. Oh, he's getting a Razorback. Okay. Hey, there is potential. He has potential. He's getting a Razorback. This is the best unit in tier 2 that you can get against the Tyranids. They have serious weaknesses against Transport, and the Lictor Alpha of all the heroes is the weakest against Transports. So let's see if he can make something of it. Maybe he can. You know, a lot of people will ask me, why did the Elite Mod make that change to Zone Throps? Why don't Zone Throps snare? Why do they not have some alternative long-range snare? Well, you're kind of seeing why right now. Every faction needs a weakness, and clearly Tyranids are extremely powerful in the early game. One of the weaknesses is that they struggle in Tier 2 to maintain that map control dominance that they get in Tier 1, because the speed gets mitigated by enemy transport play, something that they themselves, Tyranids, struggle to mitigate, and that is all very intentional. But let's see. They're still going to be very difficult to execute. I mean, Piano is just so drastically outnumbered in terms of units and just capping power, speed. There is a Venom Brood coming in right now. That's coming down from the Lictor Alpha's global bar. So the Ravener the Razorback needs some support. But this is where you keep the ASM/Tech Marine nearby. Tech Marine with the Power Axe or the Plasma Gun will be pretty good at dealing with this Venom Brood. And then the ASM obviously can jump on top of it, which is pretty good. Never liked power anyway, yeah, I know. But he's kept this power though, which is pretty good for him. Lost this, but he's chilling over here. Why has Tex not took that out? Bit of a misplay. But yeah, you can't get these tools, you know, the Plasma Gun or the Bionic Axe, because he doesn't have any power. And he's driving forward right into the Venom Brood right now. I mean, he can disrupt the Venom Brood for a little bit with the ASM, but can't afford the Sarge, who has the power melee sword, so he's probably not going to be able to actually force off the Venom Brood before his ASM get wrecked by all of this. I don't like this. Feeder Tendrils in Tier 2? Tex, what? I'll go for that, mate. It's kind of trash. He got all through the gens with his flame attacks, but I mean, Nids don't care that much about the power. That was a drop mod with Sternguard. What? Oh, he just killed the Venom Brood model and got backlash there, but the ASM need to get out of there. Did the Venoms retreat? They did. Okay, so there's nothing in play right now to kill the Razorback other than just endless hordes of Hormagaunts. Will the Tech Marine make it out alive? I believe so. I think the Flesh Hook went onto the ASM. So he remains in play. Lictor Alpha's got Lone Hunter. 40% more damage and takes 25% less damage when there's no allied units nearby. So it makes him surprisingly tanky, actually. Surely he's going to kill this guy. Why is this guy just standing there? What the fuck? He didn't die, though. Wow. Huh. Flame attacks over here. Wipes out the Hormers? Yeah, I guess the Hormers don't have the Adrenal Glands. Maybe they did. No, surely not. The Adrenal Gland Hormers should wipe out the attacks, right? But they were level 2. I don't know, maybe they got some good flamer shots in before they got into melee and then they do win, I'm not sure. But they wiped out the Hormers, so now there's only 2 Hormer squads. It's pretty good for them. He's opting for the Refractor Shield first before getting the Axe or the Plasma Gun, which I guess is fine. guess that's fine. Blessing of the Omnissiah. Charging forward with the ASM. Merciless Strike. Bang! Big, chunky AoE damage onto the Hormers there. Venom Brood remain in play. No models lost in the ASM though. Rippers spawned. Their job is to tie up the Stern Guard and or to bite the Razorback and snare it so that the Venom Brood can finish it off. Razorback now getting the reinforced plate, and I think the priority for me would be the Plasma Gun or the Bionic Axe. I actually think the Bionic Axe would be great, to be honest. Hellfire rounds loaded in on the Stern Guard. Flamer's really good against Rippers. All of a sudden these Raveners are a lot less scary when you've got tier 2 Space Marine and ranged units pew-pewing them. I don't like that Piano is so deep into territory there. Wow, what a beautiful Bionic Strike there. Forcing melee with the Tech Marine onto the Venom Brood. Drops the smoke. Chilling. Absolutely chilling. Get back in the Razorback and retreat. Yeah. The AV is gone. ASM even coming down now. Nice. Yeah, Homogaunt's getting wrecked. Now that we've got some tier 2 Space Marines in play, but triple Ravener still, that's a lot of DPS, man. ASM need to retreat. What they're doing. Just retreat, dude. Don't bleed. Kinda cannot afford the bleed right now. You've got the Razorback. You've prevented the decap, so you're really not too concerned. Getting a Ravener model there is beautiful. Yeah, let's get the scouts up the side. Start claiming that requisition. Tex is going to be bleeding. Calls down more Rippers, but it's not really very helpful right now, to be honest. Why is Tex burrowing forward with Raveners? Oh, because he's calling in another Venom Brood. Okay, so Piano is going to drive this way, but the Rippers have got a few bites on the Razorback, so you can see it's slowed down. They do snare vehicles with their bikes. So you've got to be careful around them. This is where the Bionic Axe and the Tech Marine would be lovely. Just, well, he doesn't need to now that the units have disengaged. But yeah, we are just kind of feeding XP to the Space Marines here with these Rippers. And they're going to advance forward once again. We've got double Venom Brood now, so Tech Marine needs to pick up a proper weapon to deal with these Venom Broods. You can kill them very fast from afar with a Plasma Gun, but at the risk of being controlled by any melee. Or he can just go Bionic Axe and charge into melee. Either way, either option is legit. And he forces off the double Venom Broods quite easily. Gets the units inside the Razorback, drives away. Flamers are coming out now along with Stern Guard with Hellfire. This is going to be brutal, and along with a frag grenade too. Homogot's getting absolutely smashed. Lovely. Who needs power? Going for a Librarian. Okay, I wouldn't do that. Piano, just pick up the Plasma Gun or the Axe, right? It's so good. The priority is, as soon as you deal with the Venom Brood, there's nothing to kill the Razorback, then you're laughing. You can bleed the Raveners. And this bash, actually, onto the Tyranids earlier from the Flame attacks, way back, like 5 minutes ago, was really impactful, because it's meant that Tex has not got the power to go tier 3. Got his Flame attacks caught out there, which is a bit annoying. They're very good for dealing with the Rippers fast. They also hurt the Homers a lot. But that's fine, he's still got the Stern Guard in play, and they're the things that really hurt the Raveners. But double Venom Brood is still here. Oh man, imagine if he had the axe! Tex, you only just noticed it, I think. Big smite there. And he ran out of energy, so he couldn't even use the swing. Whoops. But yeah, the Librarian's just going to run into melee with one of the Venom Brood. Dude, get the axe. Get the axe. Librarian runs into one Venom Brood, Tech Marine runs into the other. ASM jump on top of the Lictor Alpha, wherever he is, and you focus the Lictor with your Razorback and your Hellfire. You're laughing. Look at all these Tyranids flee. Tex needs a Tyrant Guard. Mix it up a bit. Get something that isn't going to get killed by the Heavy Bolter Razorback. But obviously he should have had a Tyrant Guard a very long time ago. He's kind of messing up his eco right now. Letting all of his gens get bashed. And bleeding quite a lot, actually. I really wish Piano would get the Bionic Axe. Don't forget, Rippers aren't free either. You gotta pay requisition to spawn them in. So it's a lot of requisition that's gone down the drain here, tier 2 for techs. Taking a head-on fight against this composition of Space Marines is not going to work very well, and he loses another Ravener there to the Razorback. He doesn't have any Synapse on these Raveners. He had his Venoms all the way over here, so they're missing out on 20% damage resistance, which is kind of a big deal. And yeah, he just gets chip off. He runs back. The Lictor is now exposed. Ooh. Snags the tack Sarge. Oh, has he got one Death Spitter? He does. Wow. That's brave. So all Piano needs to do now is focus on the Venom Cannon. Wow. Another dead Venom Brood model. Yeah. Yeah, they got tier 2, and they got their upgrades. Turret. Guys, look how low the VPs are right now. Razorback deals with that. It's not the best turret, not gonna lie. This could be arced a little further this way so you had a bit more room over here, but it's suppressing the Homers on this side, which is quite funny. And there's a random Devastator that Piano has bought and put in the back. That is hilarious. I didn't even realise he got that. That is going to protect the turret. That is brilliant. And that is game in favour of Piano. Fuck yes! He made the comeback. Well done. Good shit. The power of the Razorback. A well-piloted Razorback. Beautiful. Vexing me that he doesn't have the axe or the plasma gun, but hey, he didn't need it. This was cool to see. And then of course he would have had the Veil of Time support on the Librarian with the Devastator to make it even better. A frigging Tarantula turret to close out the game because the VP's got so low. Yeah, beautifully done. Wow, how the hell did he make it out of that one alive? Feeder Tendrils was an absolutely bizarre choice for Tex. Tex should have got a Tyrant Guard out way sooner. You need the Tyrant Guard to draw the fire because it doesn't bleed. And then you can follow up with the Venom Brood afterwards. And if the ASM commit deep to try and kill your Venom Brood with a jump, the Tyrant Guard is better at counter-initiating them than Hormagaunts, because Hormagaunts in tier 2, well, their damage doesn't increase, so that's a problem. But more importantly, the Merciless Strike does really good AoE damage to Hormagaunts and punishes them. And Hormagaunts just drop like flies once attack flamers start leveling up and you've got Stern Guard with Hellfire. So that's where, obviously, Tyrant Guard or Gene Stealers with Adrenal Gland Warriors could be good. And it's part of the disadvantage if you're playing the Lictor Alpha of going for triple Raveners. You don't have any Warriors. So until you get your Venom Brood for Synapse, you're in trouble. And if your Venom Brood get forced off with some Focus Fire, you've now left your army without any Synapse. So you are quite vulnerable. Anyway, you see it play out in front of you. I don't need to lecture you on that. There you go. A W for Piano. And we'll move on to Game 3. Watching Piano's Space Marines top it out. So I had a bit of a fuck up and I started casting the third game with Piano as the Space Marines, and then I had Discord sounds going constantly, so I hit my hotkey to mute my microphone, went to turn them off, came back in, and forgot that I had my microphone muted and cast an entire game, a wonderful Space Marine mirror. with my microphone muted, so I no longer have the heart to do that again, and I would have lost the authenticity. So we're actually going to be watching Piano playing as the Warlock here versus Tex's Mech Boy. I love this Mech Boy skin. And Tex going with the double sluggers, which is, yeah, pretty decent against Eldar, I suppose, with the Mech Boy. I love playing as the Orcs in this matchup. I think the Orcs have got a really strong matchup against Eldar. Shurikens early on can be tricky, and given that we've only got one Guardian here, it's going to be probably double Shuriken from Piano. We might see some Immolator action. Immolator seems pretty amazing, to be honest, against Orcs. It's still such a decent melee weapon, but then when you're in green cover, you can really bleed the shooters, especially if they don't go for the shooter knob, which you generally don't want to get because of the level of investment that requires. Things get a lot easier in tier 2 as the Orc, as you get, well, in terms of dealing with Shurikens, you also get the lovely scaling on your melee units, so Banshees aren't as scary, but on the other hand, you have to worry about Warp Spiders, which can be quite a problem. Now, first Shuriken's coming out. This is pretty weird to see double shooters, double sluggers. That is not normal, and I'm quite curious to see how that goes. I wouldn't like to do that, really. I don't think with the Mech Boy. I suppose at least the Mech Boy has the teleportation to innately counter an isolated Shuriken, but it's still going to struggle if the Shuriken has support nearby. It's not like a Mech Boy teleporting in and forcing melee actually forces off a Shuriken, it just stops it shooting. So if they can kill the Mech Boy relatively quickly, backpedal with a Shuriken, then it just resets up and you still can't push against it. I would have thought that this build would be better with the War Boss, but then again, I'm just a fan of Storm Boys. I'd always go Storm Boys. The isolated Shuriken here is not going to be very useful. He could have kept pushing. He's even got burners, so he could have forced them out of the building. I don't think he's seen the Shuriken. Now this I find weird. If you're against a Mech Boy, so does he know that there's 4 units? He does, because he's seen 2 sluggers at the start, so he can see there's 4 units here. If you've only got a single Shuriken, it's easy for him to teleport in and tie it up in melee, and then the double sluggers can sort of charge in. If you had another Shuriken sort of layered, that wouldn't be as effective. Now obviously, these ranges are cheaper than a Shuriken, so it gives you something for map control. But yeah, you're very vulnerable right now to the Mech Boy teleporting in. Double big shooters, double burners already, so that indicates to me that Tex doesn't want any tier 1.5. We're not going to see any Storm Boys, which is a travesty if you ask me. Warlock just side capping with his Destructor. He's easily able to handle any isolated Orc squad in tier 1. Let's see how the Mech Boy fares here against these Guardians. Yeah, Banshee's going to come support. Could take the garrison, be annoying. Yeah, he's just going to retreat out, it doesn't have a lot of HP. And looks like the shooters managed to flank here with the Shuriken and the Rangers. I'm not sure how. You would have expected that the Rangers, with their really long line of sight, would have enabled the Shuriken to see the shooter positioning. Especially because there's no knobs here, so these guys infiltrating wouldn't be getting shot. Strange. This is a really bad engagement for the Banshees. I don't think he even needed to wire there. With the double big shooters, those Banshees had absolutely no chance. And they do have aspect, but you know, we've got burners on the sluggers, so that's more HP. And the burners themselves actually do pretty good damage against Banshees, because Banshees don't have fire resist. But yeah, caught out there, walking to the Shuriken. Pretty poor micro from Tex's behalf. Warlock once again gonna deal with these sluggers. He's not got full HP though. Nah, he's got Rangers coming in though, and he lands a perfect Destructor, so he'll be fine. No battery pack heal, that would be nice right now to mitigate all that AoE damage from the Destructor. Would have been alright if the Rangers weren't contributing there, but it's a bit too much. Probably going to go into melee there with the Mech Boy. Oh, the Mech Boy teleports into Howling Banshees. Bad spot for him, he's got to retreat out. So, yeah, I mean, Tex is in this without any tier 1.5, which is pretty good for him, I suppose. Double Sluggers is going to be very strong in tier 2. They're technically stronger than Storm Boys in terms of HP with the burners and their Slugger Knob in tier 2. But they don't do the same power melee DPS. Slugger Knob is better than Storm Boy Knob as a combatant though, but you lack the jump, which is kind of huge. One of the best things about Storm Boys is the stun on landing, and the fact that with Bomber Boys upgrade they get really good jump range, so their mobility is just crazy. And you kind of need the jump plus the Bomber Boys in order to control Warp Spiders, which otherwise are just an absolute pain in the arse for Orcs to deal with. Since Orcs don't get access to any heavy infantry until tier 3. You really just bully them with the Warp Spiders, which do crazy high damage to light infantry. A bit of a scary position for the Warlock. Yeah. Couldn't stay any longer, they're not going to be able to get the bash. Mechboy escorting the Sluggers here is going to mitigate the Shuriken, but needs to react quickly to it or you will be bleeding Sluggers. There we go. Yep, ties him up. Slugger Knob, sorry, Shooter Knob is in play here, and that is pretty punishing for the Rangers and the Guardians. It's pretty good in melee is the Shooter Knob. What? We got a turret? A mech turret. Wow, the big push. I love it. Takes a very long time to build this turret, but the whole point is now that the Shuriken can't just come up and set up and tie these things up. Can't suppress the turret, and it would do good damage to the Shuriken. Now that's why obviously Piano is relocated to the bottom, but it only takes a certain amount of time to get the job done here. Oh, I feel like those Sluggers could have just took the fight against the Banshees there with the Overwatch fire of the shooters. Double shooters in play. Finish off the gem bash. Love it. And he's tier 2 now, so he'll be able to scrap that turret. This is really interesting, isn't it? So Tex has just landed tier 2 and he's prioritising the Shooter Knob leader over Slugger Knobs or a vehicle, which I find very odd. Huh. Banshees just get onto the turret. I don't think he can salvage it in time, I guess. I don't know. Oh, he did. Yeah, salvaged. So he gets half the money back. Nice. Good play. Nice use of the turret there. Yeah, he got all 3 gens in the end. That's great. Really delaying Piano. Now, Piano did bank up enough resources to get the Falcon out. So he wasn't that fast, Tex, on the bash. But this prevents him being able to get another squad out. You know, we don't have any of the... well, I don't know if we have a Warlock yet, but we don't have the Banshee Exarch, and we don't have any resources for Spiders for a long time. So it slows down the build, which is really nice. Yep, nowhere... Oh, we do. Yeah, we do have the Warlock already. Okay. Yeah, pretty great upgrade, to be honest. The passive damage resistance and the pretty juicy amount of HP on him for a relatively cheap cost is... really nice when you're fighting Mechboy and double shooters. Just makes your Guardians so much more tanky. I'm not sure about these Rangers, if I'm being honest. I don't think they've been very good. They'll detect the mines though. The problem is the mines are just a micro chore really to destroy, since he throws out such a big cluster. You've got to individually micro stuff to do something with it. Weird Boy is the choice there for Tex. Going to get forced off, of course, there. Doesn't want to be isolated, but yeah. A bit late on the Slugger Knob. He's going to save the day, though. Wow, nearly wipes him, in fact. That was obviously the play. I'm underestimating the DPS coming in from the shooters here quite dramatically. Bloody hell, they nearly wiped the squad in retreat. 5 HP. Jesus. Wow, that was lucky. Did have the red for a Distort Field. Don't remember if Distort Field works on retreat or not. I feel like it should reduce the damage by... whatever the figure is. I can't even remember what distort field is now. Is it 50% damage resistance against ranged? So I think the 30% that you normally take should turn into 15%. I think that's how it should work. But I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll have to see what the Weird Boy can do here. The Weird Boy is a good tool to fight warp spiders. It forces them to teleport and it stops them being able to hug cover. And if they're not hugging cover, you can DPS them down with shooters. So what you do is the Eldar is you send things in like the Falcon to bait the Weird Boy shot and eat it, and then you can just repair it off. And then the warp spiders can move in while the Weird Boy shot is on cooldown. This is where the next purchase being an Autark could be effective as well. She would lead the charge with a leap onto the Weird Boy as the Banshees move in. Then the Warp Spiders teleport in and mince these sluggers. But it's still not great if you're getting hit in the back lines by these guys. And a lot of mines coming out right now. Rangers running around with a single model. Like, he's detected these mines ages ago, but he isn't doing the micro chore of destroying them. Piano's micro, obviously, quite limited. Yeah, you can see here, when they don't have the cover, they're not in a very good situation here, and they're just teleported into mines, which is not ideal. Lucky to not lose any models, though. Bloody hell. Had they gone for an attack ground and retreat with the Weird Boy there. I cannot believe they got out without losing a model. Holy hell. If he had a gate in the base, he'd be able to heal these a lot faster. But he doesn't have any webway gates. Where's his red gone? He hasn't built any gates. He must have used swift movement over here. Why did he use swift movement? He hasn't killed anything, has he? No, now we see a pain boy. What? This is a weird build from Tex. I would have gone a vehicle, even just well, I mean, he doesn't even have any proper AV yet. What is going on? Okay, yeah, he has the beamy on the mech. Yeah, this is why the mech's so good, man. Having such really serious tier 2 AV on your hero is so powerful. The Warboss and Commander Knob in comparison just feel limp against transports. You kind of need to go Truckbusters plus War Truck, or you sacrifice your mobility if you go for Beamy Looters. Obviously this is a Beamy Def Gun, but he can teleport, unlike Looters. And also, if he catches this Falcon with a mine and snares it, it's going to be in a very bad situation, because then it's going to be easy to hit with a Weird Boy as well. And these two can take out the Falcon pretty easily if it gets hit by one of these mines. So Piano needs to sort of hurry up with clearing the mines. He still has the Rangers. Where are they? They're capping down bottom. Yeah, so they're not even with the Falcon, which I find really odd. I don't get it. Ah, fucking mech shot at the Warp Spiders, not the Falcon. That was stupid. And the first model they lost was the Exarch. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Witchbladed Kernus. Yeah, that's fair enough. That was a bad Ethereal Slash. He'd already knocked him away with his leap. But going for that just means the Sluggers, even with their knob, can't really contest the Warlock on the sidelines. They would have to have the Pain Boy nearby to mitigate the AoE damage. But Piano's doubled down and got a Wraith Lord, which makes sense, because Tex is not getting any serious AV here. Pain Boy can't do any AV. Weird Boy's not very good AV. This is obviously serious AV, but it's only one tool. Which first two of these vehicles is going to be quite awkward. The Weird Boy is alright against the Falcon because it's a bigger target and you can get rear armor hits. Less good against the Wraith Lord. But what is Piano doing here? He can teleport forward? No teleport. Alright. If he teleported forward, he would have got that. Beautiful hit by the Weird Boy there. Ranger's still running around with one model. Shuriken reinforcing through the shooter damage was Banshee's flank. Feels like it's quite a lot of unnecessary damage, really. And mines here proving pretty awkward for the Banshees. Yeah, the mech got a few hits there on the Wraith Lord, who's going to pull back, scared by the mines. Obviously, there is a risk of this turning into a Beamy Looter as well. More mines get chucked out as the Warlock gets into melee here with a mech. We got a nice rotation from the sluggers here. Just zoning the Falcon. They will do damage against it in melee, but obviously it just drives away. But that's the point. They don't lose models whilst they're under the heal over time of the Pain Boy. I really don't like this range of play from Piano. I think to make it effective, you've got to have really good micro, and he doesn't. He's too slow. And these mines have been a bit of a pain in the ass for him. And he has rangers to deal with them, but they're just not... They're never with the Falcon, which is leaving him vulnerable. And right now, a problem with his build is he's gone for 2 vehicles, but he's only got 1 Guardian squad, so the repair support for these vehicles is really lacking. Where are the Guardians? Yeah, they're going to start repairing this Wraithlord, but I think he needs to get the Shuriken cannon on the Wraithlord and put it in range stance. What would you get as techs? Would you get a basic Death Dread? Would you get a truck? The truck for mobility could be pretty nice. Just a default truck. Obviously the Falcon could try and hunt it, but that's probably going to lead to the death of the Falcon with all these mines going around. Not sure why these looters aren't yet equipped with a beamy. Yeah, he used his energy on the warp throw, which was pretty pointless, to be honest. Then he had no energy for Ethereal Slash against the sluggers, and so he got wrecked. Banshee's running in without their X-Arc, so they don't have the tier 2 damage resistance against range, so they get melted by these shooters, which are now level 3 and level 3. Obviously they had a big War buff there, with lots of boys around to War. And the Def Guns were contributing quite a lot of damage in the backlines, which is quite funny to see the utility of the suppression team back tech. And honestly, what has this Wraithlord done? It's just kind of standing around, which is precisely why I said get the Shuriken Cannon. Then you can put the Wraithlord in range stance, and it would actually contribute quite a lot, leaving the Orcs from afar. Beautiful Weird Boy hit again. Piano needs to stop blobbing his units. Letting the Shuriken and the Warp Spiders get hit by a Weird Boy is pretty bad. And again, micro, teleport your Warp Spiders away when you see the Weird Boy ball coming in, but it's obviously not paying attention. We did have things going on down bottom with the Wraithlord engaging the Sluggers, but you know, there's nothing the Sluggers can do against the Wraithlord, so that's an air move situation and get out of there. 2 model Banshees going to try and cap top. Can the looters see him? No, I'm going to say it seemed like they were far away. It's the thing with setup teams, they've got very bad sight range, so even though he's clearly in range, they can't actually see the Banshees. Yeah, this has been a sloppy game from Piano. Tex is now tier 3. Tex is ahead in VPs, ahead in tech. Still no Shuriken Cannon on the Wraithlord. I mean, I was going to say, Piano could have gone tier 3. He's clearly waiting for something, and he wants another Wraithlord apparently. But, mobs will be a problem. A big problem, actually. Battery pack is already in play. You get the super tough beam, so they get knockback immunity, and the special attacks on the Wraithlord will not do knockback to him. Then your knob should be in a pretty good spot. Warp Spider's getting hit way too often by the Weird Boy, man. They shouldn't be getting hit by him. They have that teleport to dodge his shots for the reason, but that's the whole point. The Weird Boy's meant to bait out the teleport with his basics, so then shooters can kill the Warp Spiders when they're not in cover. Now an Autark? Wait, did he get the Wraithlord? No, he cancelled it. Yeah, for the Autark. Who just leapt right into the Def Guns. Oh, the Warlock's in there. Fucking hell, I couldn't even see him thanks to the replay bug. I'm moving his UI after he's died. Okay. I'm gonna say, I was expecting the Beamy to just kill the Falcon there, but the Warlock was in there to disrupt. Not sure why the Falcon's so far forward. Probably... I mean, look. This should have the Shuriken and be in range stance, and this thing should just go bottom right now Guard that VP. Again, warp spiders are in melee. Okay, warp spiders just got killed in melee by sluggers. Yeah. Yeah, XD indeed. Piano's micro is non-existent here. Well, it's just one of those days, I guess. Stick to Space Marines, you don't need to micro them. The irony is that really you don't need to micro very much with Eldar either at the moment. I'd say you need to micro far more with Orcs. But there you go. That will finish our little trio of piano games. Hope you enjoyed that one, folk. And that is going to be the return as well, the returning video. So do leave comments down below because we need to get boosted in that algorithm so that we return with a bang. Torpid signing out.